Struggling with sin. That's going to be about the title of this video. So in this video, I want to go over something. Obviously, it's struggling with sin and how to overcome. So I noticed something. Well, usually when we are struggling with sin as Christians and after we got saved, it is because we've been slacking off and spending time with the Holy Spirit. Even when we struggle with sin, there are moments throughout the day before we get caught up in sin where we could have spent time in the presence of God instead of, we're watching Netflix or scrolling through social media or watching YouTube videos or something like that. So, one of the top keys to overcoming sin is spending time in the Holy Spirit, in the presence of the Holy Spirit. Dedicating time in the presence of the Holy Spirit. Okay? It shouldn't be any surprise you are struggling with sin if you are spending more time on social media watching Netflix and YouTube videos than you are with God. Okay? If you are spending more time with God on Netflix, watching Netflix and YouTube videos and scrolling through social media than you are with God, then you shouldn't be surprised that you are struggling with sin, that you seem to have this habit that you can't seem to overcome. You can cut back and some of the stuff you do. You can change some of what you're doing. You can change the circumstances because we keep on creating these circumstances that allow us to fall into these sins instead of cutting them off. So we can cut them off, spend some extra time with God, in the manifest presence of God, and boom. You keep on doing that, and we overcome. See, I find that it was easier for me. It's easiest for me to overcome sin. Whenever I first got saved, like months later, I was spending so much time with God that it was like the sin that I was dealing with just fell off because I was spending so much time with God, spending so much time in the presence of the Holy Spirit. Okay, within 6 months after I got saved, it's just like most of the sin that I was dealing with just fell off. Okay? It was when I slacked off, ever since then, whenever I fall back into sin, or I begin to struggle with sin again, ever since that moment, ever since I got saved, even after that, it's because I've been slacking off and neglecting the Holy Spirit. I have to be honest about that. But then, when I repent, what am I doing? I shouldn't be doing this stuff. I need to turn back to the Holy Spirit. Whenever I turn back to the Holy Spirit and start spending my time back with God, and start dedicating my time back to God, that's when it's easy to walk in the fruits of the Spirit. Okay? So what are you feeding the most? You have to feed your inner spirit man more than you are feeding the flesh. Okay?